Welcome to the Conscious Tutors Year 1 Maths Number and Place Value Overview, where I'll give you a quick overview of what children in Year 1, so that's ages 5 and 6, need to learn in maths under the topic called Number and Place Value. So firstly, children need to be able to count to and across 100. So the number they go up to in Year 1 is usually 100, and being able to count forwards and backwards. So from 0 to 100 and from 100 to 0. And that's going from any given number. So they might be given the number 52 and have to count up. They might be given a different number, 33, and would have to count down. I think at this stage it's also important to get used to seeing numbers going in different directions. So the same counting objective could look like this: 65, 64, 63, 62, 61. It could also look like this: 65. So any different way of counting. The second objective is to read and write numbers to 100 in numerals. So when asked to write down the number 30 or 31, make sure that it looks like that as opposed to like this. Sometimes our teen numbers get confused, and often at this stage you find that children do sometimes switch numbers around. So when trying to write 31, they may write 13 instead. But it is a stage of development for some children, so it's nothing to worry about, but do correct it as it comes up. They will also need to write those numbers in multiples of 2, so in being able to count in 2s, 5s and 10s is quite important and leads them on to the next topic of multiplication. Another objective is to be able to identify whether a number is one more or one less. So given a number, 60, one more than 60 is 61, and one less than 60 is 59. It's good for children to be introduced to 100 square so they can see what it looks like on a grid, and knowing the language of more, greater, less and fewer is quite important. The next objective in number and place value is to represent numbers using objects, drawings, pictorial representations on a number line, and again that vocabulary comes up as well: more than, less than, fewer than, most and least as well. Most and least. So if we have a look at how we represent numbers and how we can amend numbers to show what they look like in pictures. So for example, if we've got 3 cherries and you buy 3 more, what does that representation look like now? It looks like this. So we've now got 6 cherries. So that's pictorial representation. So another way to look at that is we've got our number, we've got our pictorial representation, and we've got that number in words, which is something that they also need to be able to do. So really straightforward. You could just present this in a table and children could then write what it is that might mean. So for example, if we've got 3 and we draw 3 circles and we write 3 in words, we might give the child 4 and see if they can fill in the rest. And that is all the way up to number 20. So children need to be able to read and write numbers up to 20 and represent that pictorially and in words and in numbers.